All right, this right here is going to be the single hardest lesson that we have to do only because of the difficulties of doing it without everyone having coordinate plane paper. So, I'm going to teach the lesson normally for the first problem. And then I'm going to try to explain how the heck you're going to do this for a quiz that will be, done, possibly on a Google document. So we're going to graph inequalities in two variables. You've done inequalities many times this year. We solve, we get ourselves something that we put on a number line. We put a circle above a number, we might have filled it in, and we put an arrow to the left or the right. Well, now we're going to be doing it on a coordinate plane, where we're going to have ourselves a line, and the way that line looks is going to be comparable to our circle being filled in or empty. And we're going to shade above or below the line, and that's going to be like our line, our arrows coming out to the right or left. So some vocabulary terms: a boundary line is a line that cuts a plane in half. It will not be equal halves in what you see. And a linear inequality is an inequality that has two variables that we can get into the slope-intercept form. Y is something mx plus b, but it won't be an equal sign here since we're dealing with inequalities. Okay. When we're graphing, if the inequality is strict, meaning it doesn't have the or equal to on it, the line that we connect with will be dashed. And my first example is going to look like that, so you'll get a chance to see it. And if it's not strict, meaning it has the or equal to underneath it, it's just a line. Okay. So graph the inequality. Y is greater than x plus 1. So first thing we need to do is graph something out of slope-intercept form, because even though your book assumes we've done this, we haven't. So I don't need an xy table to graph. With slope-intercept form, I can do it in 2 steps. Okay, the first thing you do is you plot the y-intercept on the y-axis. This is slope-intercept form. Okay, so realize here that m is 1, b is 1. Okay, so 1, the y-intercept is at 1 on the y-axis, so there. Okay, so we plot 1 on the y-axis. From there, we count the slope. Since the slope is 1, as a fraction, it's 1 over 1, which means you go up 1, right 1 from the y-intercept. And all you need are 2 points. Now, you will use a ruler if you have this printed out. If you're doing it by yourself, try to get a flat edge if you can. I will do the best I can. We're going to connect this, but we're going to use a dashed line. Okay. It's not going to stay solid because the inequality does not have an or equal to sign on it. Okay. You need to make sure that line goes edge to edge of the grid. Okay. Last thing you do is you look at the inequality. Is it greater than or is it less than? Greater than means above, less than means below. This says greater than, so we would need to shade in everything above the inequality. As you can guess, this uses a lot of colored pencil. Now, how are we going to do this on a test? If you want to print it out, you have a printer, you can print it out, and you'd like to physically do the graphing yourself. That's cool. I'm all on board with that. If, however, you don't, then what you'll need to do is put the inequality in slope-intercept form if it isn't. This one already is. You'll have to give me the directions for what to do. So here, on a quiz, and you're not graphing, you're describing, you would want to say, plot the y-intercept of 1. From there, go up 1 and right 1 to get your second point for the line. Connect the points with a dashed line and shade above the line. It's a little weird, but that's what we got to do. Okay. So, next one. Y is less than or equal to x plus 1. So, again, here it's already in slope-intercept form. Slope is 1, y-intercept is 1. So, let's just, using words, what would it be? Plot the y-intercept, which is 1. Count up 1, right 1 for second point. Connect with solid line. A solid line here because the inequality has the or equal to. And shade below. Below because this is less than or equal to. Now, can we actually do that? Am I going to do that so you can see it? Yes, I am. So plot the y-intercept at 1. There we go. Count up 1 and right 1. There we go. Connect them with a solid line as best I can. It's not the greatest line in the world, but it'll do. And shade below. Am I going to mark it wrong if every little pixel isn't properly colored in? Of course not. So long as it's obvious where you meant the shading to be, you're going to be fine. Am I always going to be nice enough to put the equation or the inequalities in slope-intercept form? No, I am not. Have we already solved equations? Yes. So let me copy this. We need to put this in slope-intercept form. So we need it to be y is symbol mx plus b. We need y by itself. So the first thing we got to do is subtract 4x from each side. Remember, if I'm going into slope-intercept form, I want to squeeze the x term in before the 12, and the 12 is positive. I'm going to divide everything by 3. 3 is positive, so I leave the inequality sign alone. Do you have to remember that? Yes, you do. Negative 4 divided by 3 is just negative 4/3 x. There's nothing to do with that. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, so I'm going to physically graph it, and while I do that, I'm going to say what you would write if you were describing this for a quiz, or for your assignment, for that matter, because if you don't graph these for your assignment, you will have to describe them. So, plot the y-intercept of positive 4. From there, you will count down 4 and write 3 to get your next point. Those lines, or those dots, will be connected with a solid line, and we would shade below. You've seen me do the graphing on here. Your practice solutions, I'm actually going to upload as a document this time, and that document is going to be the written descriptive form. So you can see the graph form on the notes, the written description form on the practice solutions. In terms of your assignment, it is entirely up to you whether you want to do the graphs, you want to print out coordinate plane paper, do the graphs and upload that, or if you want to do a description type submission in a Google document. Either way, if the inequality is not given to you in slope-intercept form, one of the things you'll have to do is put it in slope-intercept form. So You'll see that when I do the examples, because there are several that are not like that, or the practice solutions, I'm sorry. I know this one's going to be a little weird, but I know you will all try your best, and that's all I can ask of you.